So this is your first video on your keychain project. You're going to go to Tinkercad and you're going to sign in with Google. And if it's the first time you sign in, just sign in with Google. You'll click sign in somewhere with Google. And then if anything pops up, close it. Close it, close it, close it. And you want to get to this. This is called your dashboard. And if you end up somewhere else at any point in time in Tinkercad, all you have to do is click the Tinkercad logo and it'll take you back to your dashboard. So for the first time on this project, you will click Create New Design. Every other time after that, you'll actually go to your design. So what you have to do is make a keychain with your name. Do your first name, unless you get other permissions not to. You should be doing your first name. Now, see this? This is bad. We don't like this tool for this project, and we don't use it for most projects because it doesn't allow you to customize each letter individually in the way we need to. So what you have to do is go to Design Starters. So I clicked on this, I clicked Design Starters, and then I click letters and numbers. And then here are all of the letters and numbers. And sometimes they show up as a box, but they'll eventually load. So you want to drag out all the letters for your first name. So they're all, there they are. And if you need more shapes, you just click more shapes. So there are all the letters. Now, you're using a Chromebook, so your screen might be kind of small. You can hide this by clicking that. It takes it away. And if you want it back, you just click back on it. Another thing that kind of sometimes gets in the way is this pop-down thing. To hide it, you just click this arrow, and then it goes away. So we'll hide that for you. And to zoom in, if you have a mouse, you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in. If you don't have a mouse, you can use these buttons over here. So you have all of the letters. What you need to do is get all of your letters in a straight row. And doing this, you're using your eyeball. But remember, Tinkercad is computer-aided design. So we are going to select all of them. And how I select all of them the easiest way is I just click and drag a box around it. As long as this red line touches the letter, it is selected. So don't think you have to drag it around. As long as this red line that I'm dragging to make my box touches the letters, they get selected. So I'm going to go over here to the Align tool, and you can see the Align tool works now. If I only click one letter, the Align tool doesn't work. I can't use it because I don't have enough selected to use it. So once again, we're going to select these, and I'm going to click the Align tool, and then we have all these dots. The nice thing about Tinkercad is it kind of shows you what you're going to do before you commit. So if you hover your cursor over a dot without touching on it, it shows you what will happen. So if I clicked that dot, all of my letters would be piled together in the center. I don't want that. I want to bring all my letters so that they're even down along the bottom. That means I'm going to click this one here. So you can see, especially, watch the D and the A before I click on it. Do you see how the outline of the letters is brought down? So I'm going to click on that, and it brings them all down. Then I want to arrow over my letters. So I'm going to use the arrow key on my keyboard. I'm not using a mouse, because when you use a mouse, you see what just happened? My letter, it's not aligned to the bottom anymore. So I'm going to hit undo. Undo is your best friend. If you make a mistake, just click undo. It's really not a big deal. So we are going to select all of our letters again. Make sure they're aligned, because I was just messing with stuff. And then we're going to arrow over your letters. And you want to arrow them over until they're overlapping. And you can rotate around to see. So that is overlapping enough. Let me arrow this one over. And I'm using the arrow key again. The more you overlap your letters, the stronger your keychain will be. So we're going to arrow these all the way over. And then the D, there we go, and the A. So I'm just, again, using the arrow key, and it's good enough overlapping. What you don't want is this. This might look like it's overlapped, but if I zoom in with my scroller wheel and rotate, right there, I can see there's a gap. So it's actually not connected. Now remember, in 3D design, you need to look at all sorts of the angles. So I'm going to arrow that over at least that much more to make it more connected. So all of my letters are now overlapping together. So what I want to go ahead and do is group them together. So I selected them, and then I click group. Now, I know that it looks kind of weird. That's fine. We will be fixing that on part 2 and customizing it. How I know it's grouped is if I drag this around, it's treated as one object. See? So just to show you again how I grouped it, I just dragged that box around. Again, remember, as long as the red line touches it, it's connected. And then up here, I click the group tool. So if you hover your cursor over these, it tells you what the thing is. So if I only click on the A, the group tool doesn't work because I don't have more than one object selected. I can't group it together. So I'm going to go ahead and select all and then click group. And now if I click on my object, my only option, because this is grayed out, is to ungroup. And ungroup is helpful also because maybe my in isn't perfectly aligned. It just didn't look right. So I'm going to go check my alignment again. Oh, it's grayed out, so it is perfectly aligned. And then I'm going to regroup it again. So, and then if you rotate around, right click rotate, or you can click this. You want to always look at all different angles to make sure that all of these letters are connected. It's very important that they're connected. Grouping just means it's treated as one object. It doesn't mean they are attached or connected. So, like, watch. If I ungroup this and I arrow over my A so it's no longer actually attached or connected, I can still group this together. So it's still grouped. It's being treated as one object. But what happens when I 3D print, I'm going to be a man, not the because the A isn't attached. It's going to fall off. So remember, you actually have to attach all these letters. So let me arrow this back over. They need to be connected, physically touching to be treated, come out of the printer as one object. So now that I have this all grouped together, I can rotate around and everything is touching. I'm going to name my file. So I just click on whatever random name Tinkercad gave you. And you need to be your last name. I am great, but Greer. And then Keychain. And you're naming this your last name and Keychain because then when it's sent through the printer, I see your last name and I see your first name. So those of you who you know, there are multiples of you with the same first name. I see your first name and I see your last name on the file. So then we can get it to the right person. And then you just hit enter. And that's all you have to do for part 1. What we do also want to know or make note of, we had some issues last year and a few this first semester. When you are not working in Tinkercad, you need to close the tab. So if you click the logo, it takes you back to your dashboard. And look, there it is right there. And then just close the tab so that it's gone. If you leave it open, we have had instances where the next day you go to work on it and it won't work. Like, you have to start all over. So make sure you're closing the tab when you're not using it.